What is going on, guys and gals of YouTube? It's Anthony of the Primal Crew, and I'm here today with another installment of our podcast, The Gear Grind. If you don't know what The Gear Grind is, The Gear Grind is your all-access podcast to anything Pokemon related in terms of Pokemon news, Pokemon Go news, or just Pokemon banter talk in general. If you guys do enjoy the podcast, don't forget to like the video down below. And do not forget to subscribe to this channel for more great TCG Let's Play and other random videos. What to start with today? So, let me plug a specific Instagram. It is Leak Duck. If you do not know what Leak Duck is an Instagram page that gives you updated news for anything Pokemon Go related in terms of new raid bosses, quests, upcoming, level 40, what was one of the more recent ones that they did? Pokestop nominations for level 40s in different areas. A lot of them have been overseas recently. The most recent one was about 4 days ago, where Pokemon nominations in the Philippines is now available. So, one of the more recent things that they just posted was the Safari Zone in Montreal. The tickets for that are now on sale. At the time of this recording at MontrealSafariZone.com. To my knowledge, this is the first time that they're having any kind of Pokemon event in Montreal. I could be wrong if they've ever had, VGC or even a TCG anywhere in Montreal or in Canada in general. But the interesting thing that I found about this Safari Zone one is that what differs from this and GoFest is that GoFest, you had to enter in for a drawing in order to be eligible to purchase tickets, while with the Montreal Safari Zone, the tickets were first come, first serve. Now, stemming from somebody who was actually picked, albeit last minute, for GoFest tickets in Chicago, I find it kind of weird that they would do that with Safari Zone tickets. Now, I'm not saying that, first come, first serve isn't, fair, but I know this stems from a lot of backlash that Niantic actually got from having the drawing system for the GoFest for Dortmund, for Yokohama, and for Chicago. A lot of people were upset that they had entered into it, they didn't get picked. Now, obviously, it's a random drawing. Like I said, I was one of the lucky few that did get picked. I was very honored, I was very flattered. And there you go. I do find it that with first come, first serve tickets, if they at least limit it to them to a certain amount per person, so that way one person can't purchase like 20 tickets. And one of the reasons, and I actually had this conversation with somebody at GoFest in Chicago this year, is that one of the reasons why I felt that the drawing system was actually really good, and the fact that this was one of the first times that they've actually done it through the actual Pokemon Go app itself and not one where you have to go onto a separate website to buy tickets, is that a lot of the times when you bought tickets from one of these other websites, a lot of people tried to scalp the tickets and tried to resell them. And obviously, some people got away with it, a lot of people didn't, and a lot of people's accounts that they used in order to do that, because I believe you have to put in your screen name, were banned, or were given a soft ban of 60, 90 days or something like that. Luckily, I've never had that before. So, I found that kind of funny. But with the drawing system, it's all in-app, and everything's attached to your account itself. So, if you put your screen name in to purchase a ticket, it is only that screen name that is allowed to enter into GoFest and will have all the GoFest experiences and activities. You can't transfer it, you can't sell it, you can't do anything along those lines. So, for that matter, I thought that was really, really, ingenious on their part. With that being said, do I want to see more of the drawing portion of it? Yes and no. I think the drawing system was actually different in comparison to first come, first serve, where the tickets might sell out in one day. But at the same time, I feel that it would be cool if it was first come, first serve, but with a limit of like maybe 2 tickets like per purchaser. And obviously with the second ticket, you have to put in another person's screen name, I believe of Ultra or Best Friend status, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that would actually be very, very useful. So I don't know. I'm on the fence on it. What do you guys think in the comment section down below? Should we do more of a drawing type format in order to purchase tickets? Or should it be first come, first serve with a definite limit of like maybe 2 to 4 tickets per screen name? And obviously the other screen names have to be attached to it. So, yeah, I just wanted to throw that one out there as a beginning. This upcoming, I believe it's Thursday. Let me get my dates in front of me. This upcoming Friday, as a matter of fact, at 1 p.m. your time, it will be live for the water event. Let me actually pull that back up. And you've all seen it. The Water Festival 2019. The Water Festival is back. Some details. Water Pokemon, Water-type Pokemon will be appearing in the wild, eggs, and raids. Kingler and Crawdon specifically will be able to learn their signature move, Crab Hammer, because they're the only ones that have Crab Claws from what I've seen. And 2 new shiny Pokemon have been released, Shiny Carvanha and Shiny Barboach. And another thing that they had also put in there, that if you go to areas where there is water, such as lakes or beaches, there will be more spawns, such as Lapras, War Turtle, I believe Wooper, Marshtomp, a bunch of really good water types. And obviously a lot of those in that like family will have shiny possibilities. So I am going to try my best on Friday to run a live stream to the extent of going either to the beach. There's actually a couple really good spots around the beach that I can go to over in San Francisco. There's also the pier over in Pacifica where I have live streamed before, and I will do my best to, bring you guys some decent footage of that. I think this is the 2nd or 3rd year that they've run the water event. I thought that was really, really good on their part. So, absolutely, keep bringing it back. Something else to bring up. One of my followers on Instagram, and if you're not a follower of me on Instagram, you probably should go ahead and type in your search bar for Primal Crew YT. That will lead you to my own personal Instagram, and you will see random stuff that I post up. But somebody on Instagram did actually... I actually got 2 responses. Here's a good one. Tangela Tamer wanted me to talk about Worlds in London announced. I think that's actually really cool. I believe that is for the TCG. Obviously, I'm not a competitive TCG. I'm not a TCG competitor. I'm more of a collector and a unboxer, like pack opener and stuff like that. Though I haven't done those in a long time. Eventually, that will come back. But funding has to be something there as well. So that's one thing. I am very, very excited for a lot of my friends who are competitive TCG players. I know Master Jigglypuff is a competitive one who likes to go to competitions and stuff. I don't know if he has any plans on going over there. If he does, I really hope that he, finds time to record during it. So that way he can get an experience of overseas Pokemon TCG and just overseas Pokemon experiences. So I think that's really, really cool, especially for that. Chippy Chawa, who is better known on this channel as Jerry, one of my best friends, wrote in, and I got this from posting on my story asking for topics for the podcast, and he wrote in, Pokemon teams, what types would you like on a team, how many on a team, and using legendaries. If he means by teams, not like gym leaders, I guess, in terms of teams, I'm not sure what that would entail. What would you like? What types would you like on a team? I mean, if they ran teams that were type based, like fires, waters, electrics, fairies, dark types, psychic types, normal types, I almost said garbage types because I'm looking at a Garb order. Poison types, fighting types. I mean, I think that would be kind of interesting if they went team-based like that to take down, certain things. And actually, this will bring me into another topic that a lot of people have been talking about. And legendaries, obviously, if it's type-based, pick a legendary that goes with it. If it's dark types, Darkrai. If it's grass types, you kind of have, you have Shaman, you have Celebi, you have options there. If it's psychic types, obviously Mewtwo would be really, really good for that. Fairy types would have Xerneas, stuff like that. So I think that would be something really, really cool. If done correctly, but they would have to figure out a way if it would be like a gym type team system or like a Pokestop thing like they've been doing with Team Go Rocket and bring it into Team Go Rocket. The fact that when you've done snapshots, or a lot of people at GoFest when they were doing snapshots, they weren't getting pictures of the Pokemon Go Grunt, they were getting pictures of Giovanni. Now I think Giovanni would definitely be something really, really cool to bring into... I don't even want to say like a raid system where you face him and his team of Pokemon, although I think that would be really cool themed if they brought him in with a lot of his Pokemon from the anime or from there was one specific showing of that, but I can't remember. Origins, that's the one where he literally had his team of like Rhyhorn, Rhydon, like he had some, considerable, threats. Obviously, if you want to throw him a legendary, giving him Mewtwo because he did at one point control that in an incubator and stuff like that, I think that would be really, really cool. But yeah, I think that's really, really awesome that you guys actually responded to that. If you're watching this video, thank you so much for the responses. Let's see. Let me go back to Leak Duck because there was something else that I had seen that I do want to comment on. I just gotta grab it. Leak Duck on Instagram. Again, that is Leak Duck on Instagram. Please search them up, and I think you will be very, very well informed going forward with Pokemon Go information. The Ultra Unlock details. This year, the Ultra Unlock will include 3 weeks of bonuses. Trainers can expect exciting Pokemon and eggs and raids, as well as special bonuses each week. Check the description for details and details for each week. Now, they have it all mapped out here on Leak Duck. This is why I follow them, because they give you full information. They will not just post rumors or rants or anything like that. They will give you the info. So for week 1, which is September 2nd through September 9th, trainers can enjoy a chance to work on their Johto Pokedex while exploring and raiding. Put on your walking shoes, as Pokemon never seen before in eggs in Pokemon Go will be hatching during this time. Now, what does that mean? It could be that there are random Pokemon that may have only spawned in wilds or in raids that could be spawning in eggs. Who knows? I think that's a very, very good opportunity for those that are still working on their Johto Pokedex. Like, my idea is if they put Smeargle in eggs, because Smeargle, I believe, is a Generation 2 Pokemon. And I think it would be really cool, because a lot of people don't do the snapshots from just personal, like, talking and experiences. So I think it would be kind of interesting if they put Smeargle in eggs, so that way people that don't do the snapshots can get an opportunity at, hatching one. I think that would be kind of cool. From week number 2, September 9th through September 16th, Pokemon from across the globe will join in the celebration this week, along with a special appearance by a mythical Pokemon that will be available to challenge in raids. Now, a lot of people have talked about this, that because of the vignette or the screenshots that they've been posting up on Pokemon Go, has been showing a night sky with Pokemon Go with the stars that are slowly starting to align to turn into a specific mythical Pokemon, Jirachi. Now, for those of us that have done GoFest, we have Jirachi already. We'll be getting more candies, we'll be getting more bonuses and stuff like that. That's great. I don't think it's going to be a raid boss, though. Because if that's the case, you can get multiple Jirachis, but because it's a mythical, you can't trade it. So what would be the point in getting, that many Jirachis without the ability to actually trade it? If they gave it a shiny, that would be amazing. But again, you can't trade it. It's just like when you get Mew, when you get Celebi, And Deoxys, we'll get into Deoxys in just a minute. Yeah, there would be no point in raiding a Jirachi and getting a shiny of Jirachi when you can't trade it to those that can't raid. I think that's kind of a waste. But I do like the celebration of Pokemon from across the globe, which means we could be seeing a regional shift with, different. It may not even necessarily be in eggs, but we can probably see a shift in regional Pokemon that have moved. A while ago, we had Zangoose over here in the States, and that switched with the regional from overseas in Europe, Seviper. So we've had Seviper over here for about a year, and they've had Zangoose. And the same thing happened with both Lunatone and Solrock. Those had swapped. So I think that's really, really cool. The event that we had last year, I believe it was last year. Yeah, last year, when we had the regionals in eggs, the Kangaskhans, the Mr. Mimes, I'm missing a whole bunch. Farfetch'd and Tauros. Tauros is technically our regional, and obviously we're able to get that one constantly because it's not that hard to find sometimes, especially in partly cloudy weather when normal types are boosted. But I think that's a really good opportunity if they do have them spawn in the wild, like per day. Like let's just say Chatot will come over if Lunatone comes back over, because Lunatone has its shiny variant. I think that would be cool. Heracross moving around. Carnivine, I think, is another regional. What's another regional that's escaping me right now? Zangoose comes back over. I think that would be cool. Even the Mr. Mimes, the Farfetch'd and stuff like that. I think those would be cool if those shifted as well. Or even just made a brief appearance, and then you just catch as many as you can. I think that would be great. Moving on to week number 3. This one's a doozy. September 16th through September 23rd. Unusual Pokemon will be appearing in the wild during this week. Noteworthy opponents are coming to raids too. Over the course of the week, or of the event, you may also be able to add some Pokemon to your Kanto decks that previously eluded you in your part of the world. And that's more about the regionals. Venture out to take on challenges and make discoveries. As always, happy exploring trainers. Now, what does it actually mean? What does it mean when it says that unusual Pokemon will be appearing? A lot of the speculation has been pointing to Generation 5, the Unova region, coming to Pokemon Go. Now, I, for one, and this is not a knock on the generation, I didn't really play Black and White. I know of the Pokemon, and I played the games, but I never really explored it so much. So I know pretty much. I know the Pokedex. I know what Pokemon are available. But when it says unusual, does that mean we're only going to get like starter spawns and their version of like Rattata, which I believe is Patrat, Lillipup, Purloin, and the monkeys, the Pansage, Pansear, Panpour, like stuff like that, and Pidove, their version of Pidgey. I think it would be kind of cool if they brought in Generation 5. It would definitely give trainers a reason to get out and go and do more. And I also think it would be good to bring back people that used to play Pokemon Go. Those that have gotten bored with the game, saying that there's nothing new, even though every week there's always something new, it seems like. I think an interesting thing would be a little bit more of the... See, and there's not really much more in Generation 4 that could be released. I mean, yeah, there are a small handful that haven't been released yet, obviously. And I mean a very, very small handful. Obviously, there's a lot of legendaries that still haven't been revealed. And by a lot, I only mean like maybe 4. And most of them are mythicals. The only one that's not a mythical, and I feel like this is going to be one of the next raid bosses, is going to be Regigigas. Regigigas is a normal type, colossal behemoth, who in the actual game itself has one of the worst abilities in the game, called Slow Start. For the first 5 turns, his speed and his attack is in half. But in Pokemon Go, that's not the case. Obviously, his attack stat will be normal. One of the other Pokemon, or the other three Pokemon that I was speaking of that haven't been released yet, are Manaphy, Darkrai, and Shaman. And I know I'm missing one, and I'll get to that in just a second. But those three specifically right there are mythical Pokemon. The only reason I know that is because during the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, which was a couple years ago, they released all those in a mythical Pokemon event, not only in-game, but in the TCG for collector's items. There is one more that I haven't named. It is also a Pokemon, or a mythical Pokemon, but it's also the god of all Pokemon, and that's Arceus. Arceus, obviously, like I said, is it's not listed as the god Pokemon, but it is, the god of all Pokemon. A lot of people have speculated that that's going to be the replacement in Tier 5 raids when Deoxys has gone through his, his movements. Now, obviously, Deoxys can probably return back into Tier 5 raids. It'd be cool if they released it shiny. And obviously, there are two Deoxys forms that I do not have myself, which is Defense form and Speed form. I do believe this Thursday I do have an EX raid that I will most likely be trying to attend. So, and there's another one that I didn't even mention. It's not a legendary. It's not a mythical. In its Pokedex, though, or in-game, like when you play Diamond and Pearl, it's one that is considered a legend, and that's Rotom. Rotom would be a very, very cool Pokemon to either put as a quest Pokemon, as a raid Pokemon, but obviously Rotom has about 4 other forms, with its Rotom Mow, Rotom Fan, Rotom Wash, and Rotom Freeze. It's got 4 different forms on top of its original form of Electric Ghost. That would be a cool one to release, but obviously, there would have to be a really, really big event for that. And then, obviously, there's I think 1 or 2 baby Pokemon that haven't been released yet. One of them being Mime Jr., which has not been released into any part of the game, and Phione. Phione is the pre-evolutionary form of Manaphy, although, fun fact, Phione cannot evolve into Manaphy. That would be broken if you could. But really, that's it for Generation 4, so back to what I was saying before about the Generation 5 release, I think that would be cool. I'd be down for that. I'd be down to catch me some Tepigs, some Snivvies, and some Oshawotts, even though I'm not a fan of Oshawott. That's just me. I do also feel that PokemonGo needs to figure out... Oh, I did forget about another regional, Tropius. Tropius and Relicanth are both regionals that I would love to see. But there is one Pokemon that was teased back during Chikorita Community Day that tied into Meltan somehow in some areas, and that was Kecleon. Is Kecleon going to be kind of like a Spinda thing where you have to spin a stop and complete a quest in order to get a Kecleon encounter? I mean, I'm very curious on how he's going to get released. And for a lot of you that have thought that this podcast is just going to be something that's on a bashing terms, like I'm just going to bash certain channels and certain people. Again, I haven't named anybody by names. I'm getting very close to, because there's been a highlight package of a specific YouTuber that I do kind of want to bash a little bit, because he's kind of hypocritical. And I might just do that at the end of this, I'm not sure. But, I mean, those are some of the bigger events that are going to be happening in Pokemon Go coming up. The water event coming up in about 4 days at the time of this recording is going to be great. The big global bonuses that we're going to be getting, the global challenge that we're going to be getting coming up in September is going to be great. The next couple community days are going to be great. I don't believe they've released information on who the next community day is since Ralts. If I had to put money on anyone, it would be too early for Gibble. A lot of people say it has to be a starter, considering that the last one was not a starter, it was Ralts. We've already completed all of Generation 1, 2, and 3 starter Pokemon, so if by process of elimination they're going to start with the next generation, Generation 4, then the first one, I believe, has got to be... it is Turtwig. What am I saying? They did release Turtwig. Never mind. Forget what I said. I don't believe... Do I still have it open? I do have it open. That comes on Sunday, September 15th, which is back to its original time of 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So do put that on your calendar if, you're still unsure on the times, because they do change the times. And I'm excited for Turtwig because Turtwig is one of my favorites from Generation 4. I have a bunch of his plush around my room, and his shiny is just awesome looking. If I had to bet a Pokemon after that for Community Day, and I'd put money on this, it's got to be Trapinch. Trapinch has been around for a while, and it's really the only viable one that I could think of that they can go to for a Community Day Pokemon. They've already done the pseudos. They've already done a bunch of randos, like Clamperl being introduced, but introduced with this shiny. And Castform as well, but you can't get the other Castforms in their shiny form. So I think after Trapinch Community, after Turtwig Community Day, I'm going to put money on it. It's got to be Trapinch. And you can mark my words on this during this podcast. It will be Trapinch. Now, if I want to go into bashing somebody, there is a specific Pokemon YouTuber, or somebody who claims that he's a Pokemon YouTuber, by the name of Jono Plays. If you've listened this far, let me know in the comment section down below with hashtag BashTime, because it's about that time. Jono Plays, let me actually pull this up right now, is a Pokemon YouTuber who has over 126,000 subscribers. At one point, I was subscribed to him as well, because he did some Community Day live streams where he was actually out and about in Sacramento. He does live around that area. He is an example, or one of the examples, of someone who is a spoofer, and for the wrong reasons. He would rather stay home and live stream and jump from gym to gym, from state to state, to continent, to play Pokemon Go and try and reap the rewards of as many raids as he could possibly put in. Now, obviously, you have to spend money to do that. That's on him. If he wants to do that, that's perfectly fine. What bothers me about it is that I was watching a highlight package of his. Now, obviously, there's, he has gotten shiny after shiny for Community Days, and those are fine. Those are all at random for everybody else. But when it comes to raid shinies, like the Absols, the Mawiles, the legendaries, especially starting with Lugia, Ho-Oh, and then moving on down to the other ones, he feels that he's earned them all by traveling to all these different places to do that. Now, obviously, it's at random and stuff like that. I get that. But to up your chances by, raiding with a whole bunch of other people that are either a mixture of spoofers or live, and reaping the rewards and making it seem like you earned it, is a giant slap in the face of everybody that does it live and in person. The other part that kind of made me cringe a little bit, and I actually commented this in his video, that it's about a 2-hour video for highlight packages. At the 48-minute and 40-second mark, he had opened up his game, and it strictly said, now let me actually pull this up right here. Okay, sorry about that. I know, unprofessionalism. I'm looking at another video during this. He opened up his game and it says, your account has been terminated for violating the terms of service. Please see the help center for additional information. Now, if I could just play this clip for you really quick so you can hear his response when people had talked.
I told you he's the alt, man.
Dude, I don't care.
Dude, I don't care that his Pokemon Go account, his main account, was banned or that was terminated because of violation of terms and service. And he said in a nonchalant fashion it's probably only 60 or 90 days. Excuse my language, but fuck you if you act that way with getting a soft ban or even a permanent ban. I don't care. It's really. So it's nonchalant for him because he can, just start a brand new account and just go back into the exact same bullshit that he was doing about jumping from, like I said, gym to gym, state to state, continent to continent, and reaping the rewards of everybody else's hard work. And I did a little bit of research on his account, and it's been about 5 or 6 months since the last time he's posted anything Pokemon Go related. Coincidence? No, it's probably because any form of, email that he uses has probably told him you can't create a Pokemon Go account because you have violated the terms and service too many times. And that's why his content now is mainly around Pokemon Let's Go, Pokemon Rumble, Pokemon Pixelmon, stuff like that. I think it's apropos that he got banned for this, but I think it's even more hilarious that he feels like it's absolutely nothing as a content creator, that there are younger viewers that look up to you for whatever reason, and because you nonchalantly are just like, I broke the rules, I don't care. It's like, what message are you sending out there, bro? And if you're listening to this, or if anybody else tags you in this, please come at me and try and tell me that I'm wrong, because the facts prove out there what you're doing is wrong. When any vlog that I've ever posted has always been with me in the elements, out in the open, whether it's at a park, at the beach, at a pier, downtown, it doesn't matter. Disneyland, come on, I freaking played over there. I just don't ever have my camera. Actually, no, I did have my camera with me when I was playing. But yeah, that's a very, very good example of somebody that should not be playing Pokemon Go or should not be allowed to play Pokemon Go. My opinion. If you have an opinion, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you want to send him, any information about this, please do. I would love to hear him try and defend himself. If you ever have any suggestions for, like I said, for video topics, please let me know in the comment section down below. Visit me on Instagram at instagram.com/PrimalCrewYT, and I'll be more than happy to read what you have to say, and I will do my best to try and to appease the crowds. But I have to get up out of here. I do want to thank you guys for coming out and listening out for today's podcast. If you guys did enjoy it, do not forget to like this podcast down below. And do not forget to subscribe to this channel for more great TCG Let's Play and other random videos. But I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you guys again for coming out and listening for today's podcast. I have been Anthony. You guys have been the best part of the Primal Crew. I will catch you guys next time. And as always, thank you all so much for your support. And take it easy.